just need to confirm the audio. Okay, I think the audio is better now. Can we all hear me? Just need to confirm the audio to be sure it's working perfectly. Okay. Can we all hear me? Echo. His Regina said echo. Okay. I think I need to. Okay. I think it's. Is it better now? Better now? Just have to confirm the audio very quickly. Okay, Miss Regina said no. What seems to be the problem with the microphone today? Okay, can we hear me now? Can we hear me now? Trying to get a phone here to confirm if the audio is better. Can we hear me now? Wonderful. Yes, thank you very much for that. Okay, wonderful. Yes. So we can proceed now. Now that the audio is confirmed, we can proceed. So we're going to be taking a couple of questions, just like the way we usually do it. Take some questions here and there, and like I said, as easy as pen on paper might be, like when it comes to pen and paper, as I usually say, that it is easy, you can pass it easily, you can also fail easily too. When we were doing CBT exam, with CBT exam, you have the opportunity to attempt so many questions. All right, with the CBT exam, you get to attempt so many questions. Sometimes you get 70 questions, sometimes you get 100 questions, sometimes you even get more than 100 questions. So the chances of trial by error is there. Chances that, okay, you can do better by attempting more questions is there. But when it comes to CBT, you can imagine a whole material of about 400 pages, 300 pages, 150 pages. you are going to only attempt 6. I think the highest so far will be 7 questions. I mean, you can't even tell where the question will be extracted from. All right, you can't tell where the question will be extracted from, so it makes it a little bit more challenging to pass compared to CBT. Okay, so be that as it may, that's why I said you will not be penalized for using your inputs. When I say using your input in POP is allowed, it's not because I want you to feel relaxed or I want you to feel like, oh yes, it's a very cheap exam. At least now we've written some papers, now we can tell that it's not as cheap as it might look. When I say your input is allowed, I'm simply saying that with how voluminous this material is, and you get to only answer 5 or 6 questions. And don't forget, when I say 5 or 6 questions, I mean the total number of questions that you see in the exam. Maybe to just be selected from 1 or 2 modules, few topics here and there. And even out of these 7 or 6 questions, I think 1 might be compulsory and you can answer any other 3 questions, making it a total of 4, maximum 5 questions out of 7. So if unfortunately you have focused only on module 1, that yes, let me focus on module 1, and you left module 2, or you did module 2, 3 and left 4 and 5. If unfortunately questions are not being set from 4 and 5, then how do you survive? So that's why I usually say you need to get the general concept behind that course, number 1. Then number 2, you need to touch everything. And that's where the keynote comes in. With the help of the keynote, you are being introduced to 100%. Okay, let me not use one word. Let me say 99.9% of everything you have in your course material in a bullet point, in a precise and direct form, helping you to have an idea. Now, all you need is an idea, and I keep saying it because with a simple idea, you can develop, you can make your input when you come across any question. You will not be penalized for making your input because they even award you grade. They can never say they will not award you. And that's something I like about pen on paper. In as much as you have written something that makes sense, that is in line with the question, you'll be awarded certain grades. All right. So enough of that. For those of you who haven't gotten the keynote, you can request from us at the end of this class. Go through the website www.tutorial.net and you'll find the WhatsApp button in the top right corner. Use the button to send us a direct message on WhatsApp requesting the keynote. So our very first question for today will be is taken from halfway across the course material, which is, what do you understand by the term research? What do you understand by the term research? Okay, what do you understand by the term research? Let's provide the answer. What do you understand by the term research? Okay. Oh, wonderful. Let's get the answers coming. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, yes. Thank you very much for that. Wonderful. Yes. As a matter of fact, the term research can be looked upon, can be seen from different perspectives. You can give it different definition, but there's something you must not miss when you are defining research. You must not miss the fact that research is systematic. All right? Research is scientific in nature. Research is systematic in nature. When we say scientific, when we say systematic in nature, what are we talking about? You just cannot conclude or jump to answers. There are processes, precept upon precept. You must observe in order to refer to these activities you are involved in as research. And also, all research has a purpose. All right? Irrespective of the fact that it is scientific or systematic, all research have a purpose. Now, the purpose could be you are doing your research in order to provide a solution to a problem, or you are doing your research in order to cause an upgrade on an existing phenomenon or theory. Right? So you can now develop that based on what I have said and give it your own definition. And we have all spoken well from what I can see here. Okay, systematic process of collecting and analyzing. Yes, thank you very much for that. Collecting data, yes. Research is systematic way of finding facts. Wonderful. Yes, so thank you very much for that. And like I usually say, if this question comes out to the exam and this question alone carries 10 marks, please don't just write one or two lines and expect the invigilator or the examiner to give you the 10 marks. All right, the higher the mark a question carries, the more words you should use to define, express, mention, state, juxtapose, elucidate that particular question. All right, but if it's just less than 5 questions, you can just use few lines to explain. But if it carries more marks, then it requires more explanation. All right, so let's take note of that. Let's take a step further. So I want us to mention just two types of research. Two types. There are a lot of research, the types of research, but just mention two types. Just two types. Mention two types of research. Yes. Wonderful. Awesome. Yes, thank you very much for that. Basic type and the applied type of research. So let's take more questions. Now I want to take some questions on approaches to research that are philosophically oriented. All right, approaches to research that are philosophically oriented. Like one of the questions I saw the other day, what is the meaning of? Okay, thank you very much. I think I'm seeing this name for the first time, Mr. Sunday. I'm seeing you here for the first time. It's good to have you on board. Have you gotten your keynote? I am sure you're not a member of this class, our private class, but it's good to have you here, to have you join us. It's just an avenue to understand that we put in a lot of work. Mr. Sunday, okay, he said he has gotten the keynote. That's impressive. All right. So let's go straight into it. I want us to list and explain, okay, just two approaches to research that are philosophically oriented. So what am I saying in essence? Philosophical approaches in research list two types. All right, approaches that are philosophical in nature to research list and explain two types. So you can just pick one, talk about it, and pick another and talk about it. So there are going to be different approaches you are going to be giving me, just about two of them. Approaches that are philosophical, approaches to research that are philosophical in nature. So states, let me use the word state. Now state, you mentioned and you explain. Two, approaches to research that are philosophical in nature. Just two. Okay. Let's keep the answers coming. Wonderful, wonderful. Let's keep the answers coming. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Yes. Yes, lovely, lovely. I can see good answers. Yes. Thank you for that, Mrs. Regina. Thank you for that. Getting some nice responses already. Just three of them, basically. Yes, just three of them, basically. Okay. Yes. Now, we have three of them. Realism approach. That's the second one, actually. That should be third one, actually. And we also have the interpretivism. Interpretivism. And we have the positivism. Now, you see the positivism approach. Please, as you join the stream, ensure to use the comment section to provide answers to questions. Smash the like button as well, and also subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. And if you have not gotten your keynote, please ensure to request after this class. Go to our official website www.io.net and use the WhatsApp button in the top right hand corner to request. So what am I saying here in essence? There are three approaches. The first one is positivism approach. This approach is of the belief that you can apply natural sciences to research, while the interpretivism approach says that the basic principles of research is not enough when it comes to reality. Now, talking of the third one, which is the realism approach, holds both the interpretivist idea and the positive idea, that both can work together in as much as there will be a strike of balance. So we have that as that. So let's take a few more questions and then we call it a wrap for today. So I want to talk about what you understand about what it means by theory. What do you understand by the term theory? Wonderful. Let's keep the answers coming. Let's keep the answers coming. Wonderful. Yes, we all have spoken well. Now, one thing we need to understand about a theory is that a theory could be a presupposition, okay? It could be a phenomenon, all right? This presupposition, this idea, this phenomenon is pointing at the relationship between concepts, okay? How these concepts affect each other, giving what we call a better explanation, and give what we also refer to as a possible prediction how this whole thing works together scientifically. Now, let's take this, just like this definition somebody gave us here. It is a supposition of a system, all right? When we say supposition, now we're talking about more like a present, like an idea. It is not yet like a scenario, a presupposition, a supposition itself, or a system of ideas, okay, intending to explain something, especially on the basis of general principles, okay? A theory goes beyond limited thinking or limited predictions. A theory is an idea, all right, or systems, and this system intends to what? Explain better different general principles scientifically. Okay, so we have now one thing you keep seeing me do is that I want us to try and look for simple words. You know, when we're giving definitions, like I said, you have a lot of things to touch. So anything you are touching, you are looking for the simplest word to define that you can easily remember when you get to the exam. Or don't forget, it's not just theory you want to define. There are a whole lot of things you need to touch. So anything you are touching, try as much as possible to simplify it to your own taste. Find the easiest word that will not make your definition lose its potency. Okay, so we have that as that. Now let's take this last one. What is a research design? What is a research design? Okay. Wonderful. Yes, we have spoken well. We'll talk about the research design. It's a plan. Yes. This is what this research will entail. These are our intentions. These are the things we will be adopting. These are the things we'll be kicking against. Everything should be involved in the research. So it's a plan. Okay? Research design is a plan of study or a layout of the structure, the strategy adopted for a particular research work. Plan that specifies the intention of the researcher. A plan or a layout that specifies the strategy that will be adopted during the research work. So you can look at it from different angles. So let's stop here for today. Okay. And I want this opportunity to encourage each and every one of us to please let's put in the effort. Do not limit your studying to any volume. Do not limit your study to any page. Try as much as possible to cover as lots as you can, because you never can tell what questions will be coming up from. And for those of us who have not gotten the keynote, I highly recommend you do so immediately after this class. I wish you all the best in your exams tomorrow. Do have a wonderful evening, and bye for now.